Hey guys, today we're going to draw comics. Yes, comics. I remember when I was a kid, I would go to my grandmother's house at lunch on Sunday just to pull the comics out of the newspaper to read about Garfield or some of my other favorite characters in the comics that would run that day. And then, when I went to college, I even got to take a class on how to make a graphic novel, which is pretty much a really long story that looks like a comic. So that was awesome. So I, at the time, made a graphic novel about my hedgehog named Obi and me and all the adventures that would happen between us that took place while I was in college. So today we're going to make a comic together and I'm going to share some more of my pets with you. Let's check it out. Hey guys, so we're looking at cause and effect comics. So I'm pretty excited to be talking about this today. I think comics are a great way to show cause and effect. So, cause itself is what happens first in the story. It's the why. It's why we are where we are now. And the effect is what's happening now, and it happens second. It happens after the cause. So your cause determines your effect. Alright, so now that we know a little bit more about cause and effect, let's make a comic. Now, I'm going to make a 2-frame comic, which means I'm going to have just 2 boxes on my comic. So, I'm going to go ahead and draw out 2 boxes about the same size. Alright, now that I have my 2 boxes of my comic, I'm going to label this one cause. And I'm going to label this one effect, so that I don't forget which is which and what I'm trying to do. And then down at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and write what my cause and what my effect is. So, underneath cause, I've been spending a lot of time at home since I've been teaching you guys from here. And I have 2 little pups, and I'd like to share a little story about them with you. The first little one I have is named Maddie. And Maddie, she is an itty bitty 8-pound poodle chihuahua pup. And then I also have a very large German Shepherd mix. And he's probably almost 100 pounds. But we had Maddie first. So my cause is back when we first got Cookie and he was a puppy. Maddie, remember, she's the little itty bitty one, used to bark at our German Shepherd. His name is Cookie. When he was a puppy. And he did this to keep him out of his crate. She wanted it all to herself. She wanted his food, she wanted his water, and she wanted his house all to herself. So this little 8-pound dog, when we brought Cookie home, he might have been 12, maybe even 15 pounds. Not much bigger. But she would bark at him, and she would tell him to move. So that's what I'm going to draw first in my cause box, because that is my why. There's something that happens later that's going to be my what. But my why is that she used to bark at Cookie all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that in my cause box. Alright, I have my cause. So Maddie, little pipsqueak over here, used to bark at Cookie whenever he was a puppy to keep him out of his crate. Remember, he wasn't that much bigger than her. Now, my effect, which is now what is happening in my house, is that now, remember this is the what? Cookie, the big dog, obeys Maddie even though he is, he's grown up now, right? He is 10 times bigger. So back then he was only a couple pounds bigger. Now, if she weighs 8 pounds, 8 times 10 is 80. He weighs over 80 pounds. So that's what's happening now, is that he obeys. So let's draw that on this side. Alright, and there we have our effect. So now Cookie, big dog, obeys Maddie, little dog, even though he is 10 times bigger. You can see how much he grew from picture to picture. Comics don't have to be that complicated. I kept with the same scene, I kept with the same characters, and all I did was change the size and what they said. So to make a simple cause and effect comic, you could do it this way, to have a cause box and an effect box. A lot of our newspapers and the Sunday comics that I read growing up just had cause and effect, real simple, maybe 3-frame comics that would explain why something was happening and then what was the result of what happened. Now I'm going to take some time and color this in. And there you have it, guys, our cause and effect comic. Hope you had fun. See you next time.